What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And that was my failed attempt at doing that little like end screen at the end of Samurai Jack.
Bow to my Jack. Bow to my Jack. There you go.
Sound more like George Lopez. Wappa! And welcome back to another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get those questions first. Unless you say, please answer my question, please. And then people thumb up your question. But anyways, that is what August Anderson did. He asks, what happens if two shards of the same Catan are in close proximity to each other? Do they fuse together to make a bigger shard, or do they cancel each other out? Now first, explain what a Catan shard is.
So a Catan shard is basically a form of imprisonment that harnesses the energy of the ancient star gods of the Necrons.
Necrondir. Yep.
Yeah. So there's multiple of them. You've got like the Burning One, the Nightbringer, the
Deceiver,
the Void Dragon. There's a whole bunch of them. And basically what these shards are fragments of the powers of the Catan.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a god that's like 100 shards, and he's fragmented into these pieces. You could summon, if it is fragmented into 100 pieces, 100 versions of this powerful god. But its power is exactly that, 1/100th of the original. However, when you have multiple shards and fuse them into a bigger shard, say you bring 3 shards together, it's not 3/100ths of that Catan's power. It's actually stronger than that. Math doesn't affect them the way math affects us. Their physics and their geometry and all that works differently, because that's what they wrote in the lore. So they don't fuse just by being in close proximity, but fusing 2 shards or more does create a stronger version of that Catan than the sum of its parts. For example, each fragment, so the more fragmented a Catan is, the less he remembers who he is or who it is. So for example, if you've got the Nightbringer and you use 1 shard, he may not know that he has the power to eat souls. So if you combine 2 together, then he remembers more of who he is or who he was, and he could use stronger attacks, more powers, that kind of thing. But the stronger they are, the harder they are to control. So it's a very interesting concept that I really love Catan. Like, out of the Necrons, that's the one thing that drove me to read about their lore and to actually like the Necrons, and it's all because of the Catan. So, yeah, ask me more Catan questions. What was your question again?
You answered it. So what happens like when they fuse? They just create something grander than the sum of their parts.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess depending on who you're fighting, it may be better to bring out 2 Catan or 1 really strong one.
Yeah. Because if you're fighting orcs, you better bring out 2 Catan. Whereas if you're fighting like Eldar, having a bigger guy with the probability that he might break free is better than having 2 weaker guys.
Or if you're fighting Cato Sicarius, it doesn't matter because he's just going to throw a void grenade and suck it into the abyss.
Suck it in. Next question comes from Pineapple. Which class in D&D do you like the most? I like Fighter, Barbarian, and Cleric. I personally like Druid. I played a Druid for a while, and they can do whatever they want.
Unless they're dead.
Unless they were killed by a friend while they were knocked out.
Unless they're being cured by a friend.
It wasn't cured. What about you?
For the longest time, I really like monks, but I'm making a cleric right now, and like looking into like the spells and the abilities they have. I'm really liking what clerics can do, even though I've never played one yet.
Yeah.
But monk, cleric.
Next question comes from Aaron Daniel. How many burgers can a Space Marine eat? If there were an eating contest between chapters, who would be the victor? The Space Wolves and the Imperial Fists already have something like this during the feasts. The Space Wolves like do their little competitions, and then the Imperial Fists, they have a little competition where all the Sons of Dorn get together and they compete. So I would give it to the Space Wolves.
Yeah, because I mean they're the most. Think of them as like nomadic and like that kind of thing, where they have parties, they drink mead, and they eat a lot.
Mead. Next question.
Next question is from Oni. Who would you be in the 40K universe? Like, who would I want to be, or who would I be?
I wanted to create a 40 facts video on this. Like, if you actually were plopped into Warhammer 40K, what's the likelihood of you becoming a Space Marine? Spoiler alert, very, very little. Like, a fraction of a fraction.
Because, like, even if you were, like, a Marine, there's still a small chance that you'd actually survive the neophyte process.
Yep. Who would you like to be, though? I would like to be... I could be anybody in the 40K universe. A Catan. No.
Imprisoned. Yeah. Not knowing who you really are.
Who has the best life? I'll be a rogue trader. I think we've answered this before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a rogue trader.
Yeah. I'm going to change my answer from before, and I'm going to say a Guevesa in the Tau army. Because you're experiencing a brand new life, pretty much. You're taken from, like, the guard, or from whatever planet you're in, and you're brought to the fold of the greater good, where you're not only encountering the Tau, but their auxiliary races, their awesome technology, the way their caste system works, and it really is a brand new world that you're being brought into. So that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. It would be like living in the Star Wars world of Camino. For some reason, that's how I feel like it would be.
But with Big Titty Tau.
Yeah. Next question. The Kangaroo Boxer asks, do either of you play musical instruments or sing? What kind of arts have you been into outside of gaming miniatures and writing lore centered around games?
Does the skin flute count? No, I've never been into, like, instruments. I guess the only time really was, like, in 3rd grade when we were playing the recorders. Hot cross buns.
Yeah, same here. As far as, like, creativeness is concerned, though, I draw and I paint. Next question comes from PB Unit. Is Muppets in Space set in the 40K universe?
God, I wish it was.
I've never seen that. I know who the Muppets are.
Who are they?
They're the Muppets. Yeah. Next question.
Lux. Has the entire galaxy been mapped? I mean, how far did the Imperium get before the heresy?
No, not even... No, well, I was going to say not even a little, but no, a lot of it has been mapped, but no. Warp storms, the Maelstrom, the Eye of Terror continue to wreak havoc on the space-time continuum. So there are portions in the galaxy that are not mapped, and there are portions that are mapped.
But are wrong.
Yeah.
Like Cadia, it was there, not anymore.
Yep.
It's in the warp.
Yeah. Next question.
This one's by Alvin Wins. Who would win the 40K universe or the SCP universe?
SCP universe is the... What's that stand for?
I don't know. SCP. I don't know.
Yeah. Next question comes from Michael Hamar. What will happen if young Imperial Guardsmen catch an Eldar in the shower? So an 18 to 35-year-old. 18 to 35-year-old is not... Well, I mean, I guess for the Imperial. Like, because Imperial citizens could live up to...
An 18 to 35-year-old Eldar would be like a kid. Because they live, like, millennia.
Yes, that's messed up.
Your head's in the wrong place, man.
Next question comes from Down Before. Do you think that Magnus has any idea of Russ's whereabouts since he's close ties to him and since his patron god is meant to know all and see all? You think he would have an idea? Maybe. But he would have said something if during the when Magnus came back.
Yeah.
But instead he decided to fight Gilliman. So no?
I have all the knowledge in the world, and I could kill you with any spell I can possibly think of. Well, let me punch you.
Yeah.
Like, Magnus is the second strongest psyker in the Imperium, besides the Emperor.
He was wrecking Gilliman though.
But he should have, like, with a snap of his finger, like...
Destroyed Gilliman?
Yeah.
I don't think he, with a snap of his fingers. I do think...
For the narrative, there's going to be more played out and more into it, yeah.
I do think that Magnus was stronger than Gilliman. I just think that Gilliman had a bunch of people backing him up. He had the Harlequins.
Yeah, that big titty Eldar.
Yeah, he had the Sisters of Battle, the Sisters of Silence, the Adeptus Custodes, all in that fight on the moon. So
yeah, but still, Magnus, second strongest psyker in the Imperium, got blessed by Zeech. He should be a god right now.
Last question, what you got?
Why isn't Magnus a god? By me. Answer it, Gersh.
He is. He's somewhat of a god.
This one's by Newbie. Chaos Space Marines reuse their armor or use captured Astartes armor for their own. Can Loyalists do the same, or do they just reuse their armor? Does the taint of Chaos armor make it worthless for the Loyalists? Yeah, so pretty much the armor you have is the armor you get for the rest of your, I guess, life as a Space Marine.
Yep.
I mean, you can get upgrades to it. You can get those, like, Honor Crux Terminatus things on them. But pretty much the armor you get is the armor you keep.
Yep. And a lot of Space Marines have hand-me-downs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great honor. Like, I think they're huge saying it.
Yeah. For Chaos, it's different, yeah. You don't care with Chaos. If you see an armor you like, you kill the guy and you take it.
Yep. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. Don't forget we answer this 4 times a week. So if you guys if we did not get to your question, it will be answered next week as long as you try again.
Right. If you like a question and that's not yours, just hit the thumbs up button because it'll make it easier for us to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gersh one.
Sound Alchemist.
Oh, I did the